Her Excellency, His Excellency Dr. Thani bin Ahmed Al Zayudi, Minister of State for Foreign Trade, UAE, Mr. TV Narendran, President CII, Mr. Chandrajit Banerjee, Director General of CII, Excellencies on the call, captains of industry, heads of institutions, eminent speakers, experts, delegates, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The very fact that we have been accommodating each other during this inaugural session, where you accommodated me when I was required to be present in Parliament, and now we are accommodating Dr. Thani, is reflective of this mood of partnership. That is the very essence of this dialogue. And I think that's the spirit which CII is trying to capture when they brought all of us together in this Partnership Summit 2021. And what an appropriate topic you have chosen. Mr. Narendran, CB, and all my friends at CII, my gratitude to you for bringing together so many ministers, so many captains of industry, so many different thoughts, and the variety of subjects that you have chosen for this partnership for building a new world, and with a focus on growth, competitiveness, sustainability, and technology. I think you have encapsulated what the world is looking for in this program, and I'm sure the deliberations will help us come up with truly very, very path-breaking suggestions for the future. It's a remarkable 4-day conference that you've put together, and I'm confident that going forward, the discussions will come up with very, very tangible and doable solutions towards achieving greater growth, towards promoting fair competition, towards ensuring sustainable development and technology absorption across the world. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this topic is absolutely something which every Indian at the core believes in. In our ancient text, we hear about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which translates into the world is one family. And in this interconnected world, there can be no better message than the fact that we all understand and agree that we are all one family. It is often said nobody is safe until everybody is safe in the context of the COVID pandemic. I think I can use that context for almost every aspect of life. Nobody will be happy unless everybody is happy. Nobody will feel satisfied unless everybody gets the basic needs of life, food, shelter, the basic needs like electricity, technology enablement, financial inclusion. And I think that is the very essence of the Sustainable Development Agenda. Our partnerships working together to make the world a better place to live in, the world a safer place to live in, and ensuring equitable progress and prosperity. Not in an egalitarian sense, not in the sense of what at one point of time was promoted, that you take away the riches from the rich and distribute the wealth across the world, but in the sense that opportunities are made available to every citizen of this world, so that those opportunities enable every citizen, empower every citizen to live a better quality of life and provide for his family. In fact, in India, the government works on the principle of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, or Sabka Prayas. If I may translate this philosophy, it talks about all of us working together, all of us working for the collective progress of everybody, of humanity, all of us working in a spirit of trust, and all of us putting in our best efforts, our best foot forward for a better world for our children. And I think Prime Minister Modi's comments, which he made at one of the interactions, are most appropriate to define the very essence of our philosophy and the essence of today's partnership summit. And I'd like to quote Prime Minister Modi: it is only partnerships that will get us to our goals. Partnerships between citizens, partnerships between communities, partnerships between countries. And I think the friends who have gathered in this very important program, inaugural program today, friends who will be engaged in this partnership summit over the next 3 days, all of us can agree that, particularly in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic, when all of us are grappling with this huge humanitarian crisis, it has become essential to introspect each one's role and our collective role to address the problems that the world is facing. India this year is celebrating 75 years of independence. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. We will also be taking on the G20 presidency in 2023. In both these very important elements, we hope to promote partnerships, we hope to promote camaraderie amongst nations, we hope to promote fair trade, we hope to promote the essence of democratic institutions working together to support a better future for the entire world and moving towards sustainable development goals collectively in a spirit of partnership. In fact, I was hearing my friend from Brazil and Mary Angie both stressed how partnerships have helped save large sections of society even during the COVID-19 pandemic. India itself is one of the shining examples of both vaccinating our own population, and we have administered 1.33 billion doses so far in India, but also providing vaccines to the rest of the world. We have been exporting in the past, we continue to export, and we have offered to all the countries in the world that we will be willing to supply as many vaccines as other countries would require to ensure equitable availability at affordable prices for vaccines for all the countries in the world. Next year, we plan to produce 5 billion doses of vaccines, and we hope to contribute to making the world a safer place to live in, particularly when we are grappling with this once in a century dimension pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. We have been working together with other countries to support them with medical equipment, with supplies. We've supplied to over 150 countries through the COVID-19 pandemic medical supplies and equipment, and to many countries vaccines. I'm sure that similar effort done by all the other partner countries, friendly countries, is being appreciated around the world. I would also like to acknowledge the wonderful support we have received from many countries, just like Mary Angie mentioned, or our friend from Brazil mentioned, Dr. Thani from UAE. All of them have been supportive of India's fight against the pandemic, particularly in the second wave, which was very, very devastating. And I must acknowledge the support of many other countries in Europe, in the United States, in the Far East, Japan, Korea, who have all come to India's support and also have helped us maintain supply chains so that our vaccine production program can take wings. I'm also delighted that India was able to provide food and food supplies to many countries through the pandemic and through difficult times, while we also ran the world's largest food grain program in India, where for 19 months, the government provided free food grains to 800 million people in India, the world's largest food security and free food grain program that we have run in India. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, India has also embarked on the world's largest free healthcare program and are today providing 500 million of our citizens free healthcare for ensuring equitable access of healthcare to the poorest of the poor, to the lower middle classes, and are delighted at the impact it has had on the quality of living for our people. I must share with all our participants today that even in the peak of the COVID, even when the country was under a lockdown, we ensured that we met all our international commitments, particularly on the services side. So we moved quickly to working from home. We moved equipment, we brought broadband connectivity to people's homes, and not for a second did any international commitment that we had made or any services supply chain where India was a stakeholder, maybe in the back office, in some form or the other contributing to international service sector, we did not allow that to suffer for even a second. And therefore today, the world looks upon India as a trusted partner, as someone who will ensure that the world and the economies of the world keep moving relentlessly and ensuring that nobody in the world suffers because of India. Our partnerships are being strengthened by comprehensive economic agreements that we are entering into with different countries, with the engagement with countries like the UAE, Australia, UK, EU, Israel, Canada, with various countries. We are working towards greater degree of partnerships through free trade agreements, through comprehensive economic partnerships, and creating win-win solutions for businesses across sectors, which will help our partners and India and the people of our partner countries and India, businesses prosper in the days to come. We are also engaged in extensive consultations at different multilateral bodies like the WTO to ensure that we believe in free trade, honest trade, we are having extensive consultations and trade remedial measures to remove barriers to trade and promote equitable trade amongst nations. I would like to approach both of international industry for the positive approach and the attitude towards supporting our efforts to create these partnerships. Environment is a serious issue. Sustainability is an article of faith for every Indian, for the people of India, and the Honorable Prime Minister at the COP26 has announced very, very ambitious and aggressive targets called Panch Amrit, the 5 targets that will drive India's strategy to confront the challenge of climate change. We are confident of reaching our non-fossil energy capacity to 500 gigawatt by 2030 and meeting 50% of our energy requirement from renewable energy. We are also aiming for a net zero India by 2070, which for a developing country with huge development imperatives, a desire to take up our per capita income at least 20 times, 30 times from where we are today. This global ambition to become net zero in the fastest possible time and wherever possible by mid-century is being supported in a very big way by India through its relentless efforts and the leadership, the decisive leadership that Prime Minister Modi has been providing towards this program. Today, India's businesses are moving towards adoption of new age technologies like 5G, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and we are confident that our thrust to promote quality and productivity will help us in bringing good manufacturing practices and achieving manufacturing excellence in India. Our startups are leading the way in addressing global medical solutions, solutions for sustainability and climate change, waste management, drone technologies. All of these will help progress the economy of India and the world. India's 65 million micro, small, and medium enterprises are fast moving to embrace digitization so that we can make India a trillion dollar digital economy in the years to come. Under Prime Minister Modi, India is on a journey to transform its landscape. We have been introducing several measures like one of the world's most attractive corporate tax structure, one nation, one tax in the indirect tax regime. We have brought in significant improvements in our ease of doing business. We have a single window where we are moving all applications and approvals. We are introducing production linked incentives to bring scale of operations and manufacturing in India and are promoting easier trading relationship with our friendly countries. We hope to work with friends like Dr. Thani from the UAE, with Mary Ng from Canada, with Mr. Rossi from Brazil. We are all hoping to expand our partnerships with all of you in a fast track mode and transform India's economy, India's future. Our performance on the economy has been robust. All economic indicators continue on the upward trajectory. GDP growth in the second quarter was at 8.4%, one of the fastest growing nations in the world. Our indirect tax collections are at an all-time high last month. Our foreign direct investment also has been growing significantly year on year for the last 7 years in a row. I'm sure the strong partnerships that we are looking to develop in economy, trade, technology, research, education, all of these will hold us in good stead for a bright future. In conclusion, I am confident that this summit will help in building new bridges to foster balanced and equitable global growth. I would like to reiterate Prime Minister Modi's message, which he gave today while inaugurating a very, very important program where we have rejuvenated an entire complex of temples at Varanasi, from where Prime Minister Modi himself is a member of parliament, while dedicating to the nation the first phase of this rejuvenation program. The Honorable Prime Minister asked for 3 resolutions from the people of India. 1, cleanliness. 2, creation and continuous efforts for a self-reliant India. When we talk of a self-reliant India, we are talking of an India that works with our partners in the spirit of partnership so that the new order that is being created, the new supply chains that are being promoted will help each other becoming reliant, becoming confident, becoming fair trade partners. And I'm sure with this creative effort that all of us are doing, with the confidence of innovation that we are bringing to the table, we will promote each other's economies, promote trade with each other, build stronger and resilient partnerships and supply chains, and work for global good. Thank you very much, distinguished ministers and ladies and gentlemen, for joining this conference. And I would now like to have Chandrajit invite my good friend Dr. Thani to enlighten us with his comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for your kind message and for your kind thoughts. And for CII, it's been always a great journey with you of learning. And as we have worked with you over the years, thank you for leading the Partnership Summit. And thanks for all your guidance. With that, ladies and gentlemen, may I now request and invite His Excellency Dr. Thani bin Ahmed Al Zayodi, Minister